This episode is brought to you by Jarrow Formulas. Say probiotics, and you think of gut health, right? But did you know our vaginas could benefit from probiotics too? Jarrow Formulas Femdophilus has 2 strains native to a woman's body, 1 billion CFUs, and is clinically studied to help balance yeast. So if your vagina is feeling a bit out of whack, try Femdophilus. Shop Jarrow Formulas, Jarrow Women's Probiotic at Amazon. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
At FedEx Office, we know running a business is a marathon, but sometimes every task feels like a sprint. Luckily for you, we're always here to help turn your ideas, goals, and plans into reality. FedEx Office.
This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 1004. Overworking can be deadly. It's time to take a break, by Dr. Jenny Brockis of drjennybrockis.com. And I'm Dan, I'm your host here. Welcome back if you are a regular listener, and welcome for the first time if you're just discovering us. And today's episode is a really important one. It's about your mental and physical health as it relates to work, and simply learning how to not overdo it. So let's hear from Dr. Jenny and optimize your life. Overworking can be deadly. It's time to take a break, by Dr. Jenny Brockis of drjennybrockis.com. "You need a break," said my husband. "Check your diary to see when you've got a weekend free and we'll go bush." Are you working too hard, putting in too many hours, overthinking, worrying, and stuck on the daily treadmill of dealing with too much stuff? Getting caught up in the perpetual cycle of busyness can develop for a myriad of reasons. Because we're looking to get ahead, seeking a competitive edge, or trying to stay afloat in challenging times. Overwork can also be cultural. The Japanese have a word for it. Karoshi, meaning death by overwork. Following the death of a 24-year-old in 2015 who was reportedly working 105 hours of overtime per month on top of her 40-hour working week, steps have been taken to cap the number of overtime hours an employee is allowed to clock each month to help reduce the suicide rate, especially in young people. In the 12-month period up to March 2015, 1,456 Karoshi deaths were recorded, the highest ever. A government survey undertaken in October 2015 revealed 1 in 5 Japanese workers were at risk of death from overwork. As a business owner or employer, having 20% of all staff at risk of Karoshi indicates a serious cultural problem requiring urgent attention, which is why the Japanese government launched the Premium Friday campaign in late February to encourage employees to leave work early on the afternoon of the last Friday of each month. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe took the lead by leaving his office at 3:30 p.m. on the first Premium Friday to attend a Zen meditation session at a Tokyo temple. Only 3.7% of Tokyo area employees took advantage of leaving earlier that day. But in a culture where working 80 to 100 hours overtime each month is the norm, shifting behaviors and accepting change is likely to take some time. Here in Australia, the problem of overwork typically manifests as chronic tiredness, feeling constantly stressed and worried about taking time off because the payback of what will await on our return is sometimes seen as not worth the pain. Are you or your staff at risk of working too hard? What does work-life balance mean to you? The Australian Work-Life Index, AWALI, indicates that an increasing number of people, 25% of full-time working women and 20% of full-time working men, are dissatisfied with their work-life balance. But work-life balance means different things to different people. The 2016 Seek Learning Defining Work-Life Balance report identified 4 different interpretations. 34% said it was about flexibility in hours or location. 15% said it was about having no overtime. 27% said it was work that doesn't disrupt home life. And 23% said it was the ability to time bank. What matters most to you? Taking a break is essential for better brain health. To think properly, remember what matters, and have the confidence of knowing you're working well starts with a fit and healthy brain. Getting enough sleep and keeping our regular healthy habits of exercising regularly, eating healthily, and managing stress by taking time out to chill and relax helps us as individuals to function at our best, and is good for business too. Chronic fatigue contributes to a rising sleep debt because of difficulty either getting to sleep or maintaining sleep, poorer attention and memory consolidation, increased mistakes, loss of creativity, and a drop in productivity. Worrying about unfinished work or looming deadlines impacts sleep and performance. It makes it harder to distinguish between what's important and urgent and what is simply noise. This leads to a chronically active limbic system and the accumulation of toxic levels of cortisol, which, in excess, damages synaptic connections between neurons and inhibits synaptogenesis, the formation of new synaptic connections, making it harder to learn new information or access previous experience. Overactivity of the amygdala can lead to an increase in the generation and intensity of negative emotion, increasing negative self-talk, anxiety and depression, loss of motivation, and disinterest in our work. Compensating with increased caffeine or alcohol intake and abandoning healthy habits makes it harder to think well and can lead to poorer decision-making. More input can lead to reduced output. Research back in the 80s by the Business Roundtable showed that increasing regular working hours from 40 to 60 hours per week results in 25 to 30% more work being completed, not 50%. Stepping up occasionally to do overtime isn't the issue. It's about avoiding buying into the notion that we have to get used to working long hours to get all our work done. Extended working hours are counterproductive and potentially deadly. Our best thinking time is limited to between 2 to 3 hours each day. Think of it as having 2 to 3 hours of grade A thinking, with the rest of our working day falling into grades B, C, or D. Staying on to work late means you'll need longer to get that extra work done, because you will be operating at a lower grade of thinking capacity. Taking a break restores more than just how well we work. Taking a vacation, especially one that restricts or eliminates connection with our digital technology, can quickly restore health, well-being, our sanity, and relationships. Removing ourselves from our phones and our computer screens when they've been our constant companion can be hard, but liberating once you've gotten over the initial withdrawal symptoms. Taking a break provides the thinking space we need to think more deeply and reflect. It deflects us from the constant, instant gratification we seek from our updates and news feed that fragments our attention and adds to our sense of time poverty. It reminds us of all those other things we enjoy doing, like walking, singing or dancing, hanging out with friends, listening to great music, watching a magnificent sunset, or not doing terribly much at all. It allows you to regain control of your own time, rather than being at the beck and call of someone else's agenda. We have such little time on this planet, and it doesn't have to be all sacrificed to the god of work. It's time to step back, be grateful for everything we have, and enjoy our life's journey. Isn't that what makes us human? You just listened to the post titled, "Overworking Can Be Deadly. It's Time to Take a Break," by Dr. Jenny Brockis of drjennybrockis.com. As an entrepreneur, you know that every hire counts, but that doesn't mean that the time you spend looking for qualified candidates should be a second job. Find top talent fast with Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform helping over 3 million businesses worldwide to do it all. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates. Over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates the moment they sponsor a job. I especially love Indeed's Instant Match feature because candidates you invite to apply through Instant Match are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in search, according to US Indeed data. Indeed knows that when you're growing your own business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applications that match your must-have job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/startup to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/startup. Indeed.com/startup. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
At FedEx Office, we know running a business is a marathon, but sometimes every task feels like a sprint. Design the product catalog, pick up the new boxes, print the business cards, notarize the lease, put out 20 more yard signs. It's a lot. Luckily for you, FedEx Office is here to help turn your ideas into reality, so you can stop running yourself in circles and start concentrating on the important things, like deciding what's for lunch. Visit your nearest location or office.fedex.com to get started. FedEx Office.
And thanks so much to Dr. Jenny for her article today. A little bit about her. As a keynote speaker, she has presented to and worked with thousands of people to empower them to cultivate their own thriving mind. What gets Jenny out of bed in the morning is the opportunity to impact someone else's world, seeing that spark of insight in their eyes when they see what they can do for themselves. As a voracious reader and prolific writer, She continues to indulge her curiosity and has just published her 4th book, Thriving Mind: How to Cultivate a Good Life. And as a board-certified lifestyle medicine physician and best-selling author, her vision is to enable everyone to be a happy, thriving human. Her site is definitely worth checking out. She's got a lot to offer there, and you can see it all by visiting drjennybrockis.com. Okay, that's going to do it for me today. I thank you as always for tuning in, and I do hope you'll be back again with me tomorrow, and that is where your optimal life awaits.